Hi guys, my name is Nonima Tigela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I want us to talk about the real reason they say Nisi is interfering and the truth they never wanted to expose. They never wanted the truth exposed, and that's what we are going to talk about in this video. So today we dive into the side of the Senzo trial that none of them wanted you to talk about. The side that exposes why Advocate Mnisi has suddenly become the most attacked, the most criticized, and the most feared defense lawyer in that courtroom. Yes, yes, they fear him. They fear him because he holds the card to the truth. Not that he was inside the house and he knows what happens to the house, but his work ethic is the one that is breaking point and breaking all the barriers. Yes, yes, if you did not understand. Now, because the truth is simple, Mnisi isn't interfering. He is asking the right questions. He is calling the right witnesses, and he has opened doors they thought would never be opened. And the moment those witnesses took the stand, the entire state case collapsed like wet cardboard on a rainy week or after a rainy day. Yep. Yes. Yes. What Mnisi did there, he broke the script. There was a narrative. There was a script that was written, and Mnisi was way out of the script that was supposed to be perfect. And he imperfected the so-called script that they had. Yes, that is what he did. For years, for months, the narrative have been controlled. The flow of witnesses was predictable. The state looked confident until Advocate Mnisi stepped in with two names that were never meant to see the witness stand. Absalom Zungu, Sifiso Gwabini Zungu. Those two names, they disrupted everything. It was everything that the state case was built on and everything the state case was confident on, and Mnisi cut it to size, downsized it. Like he was like, I'm gonna drop that sandy soil, and then everything was like on the collapse. Yes, that is why they are labeling him interfering with business that has nothing to do with him. You heard that right? Yes, that's what is happening. Two men, Absalom Zungu, the grandfather to Sifiso Gwabini Zungu, and a father to Sizwe Constable Zungu, Constable Sizwe Sikumbuzo Zungu. Yes, that is exactly what is happening, and that is the problem for the people that had a narrative that they created. Now, Nisi broke that protocol. He was not part of the plan. He was not part of the narration. He didn't know what is inside the paradox box, but he dealt with it. These men were supposed to remain buried in the shadows, the Zungu men, Gwabini and Absalom. They were supposed to be buried in the shadows. They were never meant to face cross-examination. The state banked on them staying quiet. That is exactly what they were hoping would happen. Yes. But Mnisi did the unthinkable. Yes, he did the unthinkable, guys. Yes. Let me put my lip balm there, my lip gloss. Mnisi did the unthinkable, Kesan. She was like, oh, after consultations, you know, when people undermine you, look down on you, and then Mnisi was like, okay, can you give us that list? And the judge was like, give them all the witnesses that you did not call to the witness box. They did not think about Gwabini and Absalom Zungu. Now, Mnisi did the unthinkable. He dragged the truth right into the center of the courtroom. He forced the story to shift. He disrupted a narrative carefully packaged for years. And the attacks on him began immediately after these two witnesses. Yes. That one. Yes, baby, that one. That's how it came. The attack on Mnisi, yes, it came like that. Yes. if you did not understand. Why they call it interference, let's break that down. Ever since Mnisi started punching holes in the state's version, we've heard the same phrase, Mnisi is interfering, Mnisi is speaking on issues that don't concern him, Mnisi is derailing the process. But ask yourself this, why was he never called interfering before? Before the truth started leaking out, why was he not Mr. Interfering? When I do this, I remember Chris Rock, side note now. I remember Chris Rock when he was talking about how Will Smith clapped him, and he was like, they were busy doing this. I hear you're cheating on me. What do you think? That Chris Rock and Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith drama. Yes, yes. When I do this, you must know I'm remembering that. I digress. Now I'm digressing. Okay, let's come back. But ask yourself this, why was he never called interfering before the truth started leaking out? Why did the accusation start only after Zungu and Gwabini exposed the cracks? The Zungus, it's Absalom Tlahlezi Zungu, it's Sifiso Gwabini Zungu. Those are the Zungus. Those are the Zungus who were like, logo, we are coming. Because here is an uncomfortable truth, guys. Mnisi is not interfering. He is revealing, that's what he's doing. He is forcing transparency, forcefully so, yes. He is bringing evidence they never prepared for, whether the state, whether the court, no, none of them, even the investigating officers, they were not prepared for it to be aired like that on national television. No, they were never. And Ukwabin did not play there. Ubabu Zungu did not play there. And that's exactly why the courtroom suddenly became hostile. Yes, yes, that one. And then there was an explosion after Gwabini even more. Zungu and Gwabini, yes. When Zungu entered the room, when Absalom Zungu entered the room, everything changed. Things wasn't just testimony. That was not just testimony. It was dynamite. That's what Ubabu Zungu did. Dynamite. That's what he did. And then came Gwabini. Gwabini, his evidence shook the foundation of the state story to the core. The timeline cracked, the narrative collapsed, the confidence of the prosecution evaporated. The public saw it, the defense saw it, even the judge himself felt the tremor. Everyone was feeling it. You were like, oh, everyone there. And suddenly, the pressure was no longer on the accused, it was on the state. What is happening? We were all sidelining them. We're like, Aibo Baloyi, Aibo Sibanda. What is going on? Aibo Cold Case Unity. Aibo, what is going on? Aibo IO. We were busy. We were like sidelining it. We still are sidelining them. And then after that, there was retaliation. The arrest. Yep. There was retaliation, the arrest. Then came the most shocking twist of all, Kesan. Police stormed in and arrested the people who were accompanying Gwabini to court. The entire time he was in that courtroom, those guys were sitting there. Not after court, not discreetly, not respectfully. No, they were taken, questioned, and accused of an assassination plot. And we come to see this, we see the movement as we were watching. And then Gwabini is like, excuse me, my lord, what's happening? I see the people that I came with are taken outside by the police. And the judge is like, what must I do? I don't know why. What must I do? Mnisi says, you know what? Let me go check. And the other two advocates, Nxumalo and Ramasipula, are like, okay, we'll follow suit. They go. They go to find out what is happening. Now, they come back and they are like, now, we don't want to talk about it on record. We will rather have a conversation with you, my lord, there on your chambers. My lord was resistant for a while and then eventually he had no choice but to agree. There's a lot of things that happened that day. We already discussed them, but we might revisit them throughout the recess time. And then Time moves. We hear now an assassination plot. What? Against who? Oh, on what basis? Convenient timing, isn't it? South Africa goes on a spin. The moment Kwabini embarrassed the state, his people were targeted. And this is when Nisi stepped in again, right? Not as a troublemaker, not as an interfering advocate, but as a lawyer doing his job. He simply asked, what is happening? Why are these people being taken? Under what authority? Where is the basis for this dramatic, convenient timed arrest? And that basic question is what they now call interference. Those basic questions is what they call interference. Now, if you look at it, this is how now questioning those things became a sin on Mrs. End. Now he became like, what are you doing, sir? Why are you interfering? Let's be honest. If any other advocate had asked that question, they would have called it due diligence, professional responsibility, protecting his witness, concern for court integrity. But because it is advocating Messi, because it exposed something uncomfortable, suddenly it became he interferes. He jumps into matters that don't concern him. He's disrupting the process. No, that is not it. This isn't about interference. This is about fear. Fear for the truth that Zungu, Absalom Zungu, and Kwabini have already put on the table. Fear of a narrative breaking apart. Fear of losing control. That is exactly why this is being accused of interfering. Yes. The real reason Nisi is a problem. Nisi is a problem not because he speaks out of turn, no, but because he cannot be managed. They can't manage him. He cannot be controlled. He cannot be shut down. He cannot be intimidated. And worst of all, he keeps exposing what everyone else pretends not to see. Evidence inconsistencies, timeline, evidence inconsistencies, timeline dissertations, police misconduct, state desperation, witness manipulation, and now questionable arrests. That is what Nisi is doing. This is why he is too loud. This is why he is interfering. This is why some want him silenced. He must not say anything. He must not ask questions because every question he asks pulls another thread of a collapsing story. That is why. The truth they don't want told is the problem they are dealing with because Nisi is asking the right questions. Nisi is asking the right questions and people are very much uncomfortable with that. And now the entire country sees it clearly. Witnesses outside their control are revealing the truth. The defense is suddenly gaining ground. And Nisi, the man they mocked, is now the most dangerous voice in that courtroom. And they can't stand it. So when you hear them say he shouldn't speak, he interferes, he complicates matters, just remember this. Interference is what they call it when you expose the truth they wanted hidden. That is what they call interference in this instance. Interference is what they call it when their narrative falls apart. Interference is what they call it when they are scared. And right now, they are terrified of Nisi. Yep, they are terrified of Nisi. That is what we are dealing with currently. Yebo. Yebo, that is what they are scared of. Nisi, you can't micromanage him. You can't tell him what to do. You can't, you just can't do any of that. You can't. Nisi is not the one. Nisi is not the one. You can't micromanage him. So that is the issue, that is the problem that they have currently, if you ask me. Anyway, what are your thoughts when it comes to all of this? Let's talk with comment section. I want to hear your views. I want to hear, what do you think? Do you think that Umnisi is interfering with anything, or Umnisi is becoming a problem just because he is unraveling the truth? I'll see you on our next video. Please make sure you do not forget to like, to share, to comment, and most importantly, please make sure you are subscribed on the channel. And I will see you on our next video. Bye-bye.